racing tips, check out The View weekdays on ABC.
When you're living with bipolar depression, it's easy to feel like you're fading into the background. That's because bipolar depression doesn't just affect you, it can consume you.
Live from our downtown Providence studios, the fastest growing news in New England. This is ABC 6 News, first at 4.
We begin with the storm tracker alert. Sunny but very cold out there, and a winter storm's headed our way, threatening to dump snow on southern New England. ABC 6 storm tracker chief meteorologist Fred Campagna keeping a close eye on that forecast. What do you see, Fred?
Well, Allison, we see a storm, a potentially big one, a snowstorm for southern New England that doesn't have terrible timing, coming right in the middle of the weekend, so that is good as far as the commute is concerned. Of course, kids out of school, and this is going to be, I would say, at least a moderate storm. It has the potential to be a major snowstorm in southern New England. Let's set the stage, though, first and take a look at the temperatures out there, and we're talking low 20s up in Worcester, but upper 20s to around 30 just about everywhere else. And if you are heading out this evening, don't be worried about the weather. Just make sure that you dress appropriately because it will be chilly out there. 28 right now, 7 o'clock this evening, around 24. Some places outside of the city will be near 20. And then by 10 o'clock, the temperature in Providence is down to around 20 degrees. Here's a look at this storm. That is a big one, boy. It is already producing some heavy snow inland areas of the mid-Atlantic states. Look at the rain shield with this, and the storm you can see is clearly heading in our general direction. So in real general terms, and we're going to get much more specific during the course of the newscast, this is what we are looking at Saturday night and Sunday morning. Some heavy snow, real cold conditions, especially north and west, as the cold air returns on a strong northeasterly wind, and the strongest wind is out over the Cape and the islands. There are winter storm watches and actually a blizzard watch in effect for parts of southeastern New England. Much more on that and this storm's impact around here throughout the newscast. Live in the Weather Center, Fred Campagna, ABC 6 News.
All right, thank you, Fred, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Allison Alexander.
And I'm John DeLuca. The threat of a serious storm has cities and towns bracing for a costly cleanup. But one city tells ABC 6 it is ready. ABC 6 reporter Parker Gavigan joins us live with more on how one town has been able to plan ahead for times just like this. Parker.
Hey, John, no city or town wants to see it snow. It costs a lot of money. It's early in the season, though, and the budgets are okay. But in North Providence, they're fighting winter with some common sense.
There's no such thing as waiting around for snow at North Providence's Department of Public Works. The plows are mounted, the sanders ready to spray the streets. Director Glenn Correnti likes the weekend timing of this one.
Right, you don't have to deal with rush hour, kids going to school, school buses, and it's much easier to work.
They're talking maybe 3 to 5 o'clock tomorrow it's going to start.
Mayor Charlie Lombardi was elected to fix the town's finances. These days, that means fixing the town's snow plows for a fraction of the cost. Workers take a piece of one here, another over there, and taxpayers get a $75,000 truck for $5,000.
Taking 2 trucks and making one good one. We haven't bought a new piece of equipment in 3 years at our DPW here, and we only could make that happen because of the workforce that we have here.
The town saved about $80,000 by building their very own salt barn. Check it out, canvas and all. With Rhode Island's financial woes, seeing white flakes turns many budgets red. But in North Providence, it's more like the color pink, and that's no accident.
And just to give you an example, North Providence budgets for about $200,000 for snow. They've already spent $5,000, and they could spend upwards of $20,000 on this weekend alone. We're live with the story tonight. Parker Gavigan, ABC 6 News.
All right, Parker, glad he's got the shovel ready. Stay with ABC 6 for continuing coverage of this storm. Fred, of course, will have another update on the forecast coming up within this broadcast, and we'll have more storm coverage tonight on ABC 6 News at 6 and 11.
The proposed budget cuts by the governor not only affecting cities and towns, but also agencies that are committed to helping.
Island, South County, Washington County, Block Island in there as well, southern Bristol and Plymouth County. So everyone living around Buzzards Bay, if you live in Westport, Dartmouth, New Bedford, over to Mattapoisett, you are in a blizzard watch. And the same story out on the Cape and the islands. What are blizzard conditions? Well, you're talking about a quarter-mile visibility or less, heavy snow falling, along with winds over 35 miles an hour for 3 consecutive hours. let me tell you, that is hard to do. It's hard to have that kind of a nasty storm and those conditions persisting for that long. That's why we don't have a lot of blizzards in southern New England. This storm has that potential, and that's why we are in a watch. We're not in a blizzard warning. It doesn't mean that those conditions will be realized. In fact, we would not see a blizzard warning until those conditions were actually imminent in southern New England. The rest of us are in a winter storm watch. A winter storm watch means that there is the potential for more than 6 inches of snow from this snowstorm. So that gives you an idea of what we are talking about in terms of ballpark figures for the snow, at least 6 inches in many places. And I'll be back with the snowfall accumulation map and that storm timeline that I was talking about a little bit later on in the newscast.
We would certainly look forward to that. Thank you, Fred. 4:09, time now for ABC6 traffic.
In the ice at Fenway Park, the legendary ballpark, a picturesque backdrop to this year's Winter Classic.
And, you know, for a group of some local kids, the chance of a lifetime to hit the ice. And 7's Nicole Oliverio has the story.
It's the first skate at Fenway Park, and who better to take the ice than some of Boston's best?
I think it's going to be an outstanding event. For most of the players out here today, it brings back a lot of memories. We did most of our playing outdoors.
When you actually on the ice and the glass is up and you're looking around the stadium here, the park, it's really impressive.
Bruins legends rocking around the park with some future All-Stars. The Somerville youth hockey team has the park all to themselves.
This is just unbelievable. When you're skating around inside Fenway Park, it's just an unbelievable experience.
Bruins chose the Mite team because 2 of the players, 8-year-old Julia and her 6-year-old brother, Aiden Johnson's father, will be overseas fighting in Iraq during the holidays.
I think it's really cool to be able to skate at Fenway Park with the Bruins.
Their dad wishes he'd be so proud if he could be here, you know? It's just amazing.
And this is something no one else has done as the NHL prepares for the 3rd annual Winter Classic. And as Somerville helps to make history, the kids are also learning about the legend. Who'd you meet today?
Bobby Orr.
Bobby Orr? Did you get a chance to talk with him?
A little bit.
A little bit? What'd you guys talk about? Or what'd you say to him?
I don't really remember.
So according to the Bruins legends, they say the higher the seed, the better for this Winter Classic. And now that the ice is broken in, they're just looking forward to New Year's Day. That's the latest from Fenway Park. Nicole Oliverio, 7 News.
Don't forget, you can catch the Winter Classic featuring the Bruins and the Flyers live from Fenway right here on 7 NBC. Our coverage starts New Year's Day at 12:30.
Hi, coming up, still have some unfinished holiday shopping to do? Why, it may be too late to find what you're looking for.
Quite a storm moving in. We have to inch through this forecast. There's a lot of fine details and big snow. Middle 20s, upper 20s, and 27 out to the Cape. Oh, key. Now, good time to bring it up to the water temperature, 46 degrees with a northeast wind on this nor'easter. We will see that water temperature play a big role in the amount of snow and initially the type of precipitation that will come down with the storm. 20 degrees right now in Worcester, so we're holding on to some pocket of cold air in the upper atmosphere. That's why this storm initially yesterday was all rain. Now it's transitioning over, and it has a nice punch of blue in there and hitting heavy snow. I mean, this snow is really coming down in the mid-Atlantic right now in Virginia. That will be us tomorrow night, that's for sure. Dry weather tonight. Temperatures bottom out in the teens, and then the snow starts moving in as early as mid-afternoon tomorrow down through Buzzards Bay and Cape Cod, where it initially might start off with a few sleet pellets or maybe a few raindrops on the seashore in Nantucket and the Vineyard. Your track on the storm, which was key, is not necessarily a big issue right now as much as the intensity of the storm. How intense will this thing get? How much will it expand as it grows? Will it come up farther to the north, or will it kind of just stay compact and tight around the center of the track of the storm, which would bring it just off of Jersey, and then it heads east? This is not going to curl up into the Gulf of Maine. So that tells me right there that across southern New Hampshire, the Merrimack Valley, outer Route 2, we won't be seeing blockbuster snow amounts. We will see some, and we will see a couple of inches at least, but it'll be light and fluffy, and you drive right through it, and it leaves a cloud behind you, that kind of thing. Whereas a little bit stickier, heavier snow, more moisture content south of the Pike, and especially down Route 3 and Route 6. Your storm pulls away as we go into Sunday morning and into early afternoon, too. It'll taper off, last to taper off along the coastline. This really looks like a Route 3 storm and a Route 24 storm. Route 24 especially. Avon, Brockton. If you're on that road, tomorrow night, it's going to be a little tough. So light snow around 3 o'clock. Watch the timeline on the top of the map here. 3 p.m. on Saturday to about midnight on Saturday, we go right into the storm. Lighter snows, Worcester, Fitchburg, Beverly, Boston, but heavy